Yeah, I mean, the Mars, we've seen it make a lot of plays, right? A lot of teams have fallen back to it. It's a bit surprising that Motivate.Trust isn't giving Masaras the tide again. He's played, I think, a 3 out of 7 or 4 out of 7 games now with a tide so far in the groups.
Yeah.
So he does get to play something else, Mars, and they
A
picked up the
Spectre.
Spectre. Yeah, that one's been banned out consistently. This gives you the way to jump onto the Drow, right? You play with Haunt, press that R button, Haunt into the Drow, and you've got your natural gap closer. So there is that. Gonna be keen to see how they itemize on it. But Neon, they kind of did build up in that Drow. They've got the Mirana to play with Avenge Aura. It can sort of be mobile as well. The Ember Spirit to gap close and help you find those openings. Root plus Arrow is pretty good. Swap into Arrow is really nice as well. So you've got some combos there. It's a really nice back and forth draft. I'm just keen to see what Motivate.Trust does with the spec. We've seen, experimentations since the nerfs to the book strat. So we've seen Meteor Hammer, we've seen drums. Keen to see what they bring out in that spec.
I agree. While we are waiting for these the next ban-outs, John, we should actually give a positive shout-out to Valve today. There was something that they did that nobody expected, and they didn't talk about it, but the that item, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. The Sylvan Vedette, is it? Is that how you pronounce it? The Sylvan
I have no
Vedette?
clue.
Whatever, it's the Phoenix on Wind Ranger.
Oh, okay.
The Phoenix that goes on her shoulder that actually looks really nice with the Arcana. They did alter the color scheme, right? So now it's blue for the first style of the Arcana, and when you make it to the second style, you can turn it to orange to fit with the look. I was very happy about that. I thought, wow, that's actually pretty unexpected, but a pretty cool change. And unfortunately, I did want to go buy that Phoenix thing because it kind of suits the name that I use online and stuff like that. The prices have gone up, John. They've doubled in price over the patch today, and I just can't ever get lucky, John. It's
that's what you get for not spending before, Mike. You had to spend the money before,
But you know what? Who would look good with a Phoenix on his shoulder, John? Earth Spirit. Could you imagine?
What? Why? Why
not?
though?
Why not?
Oh,
Why is everyone always against the Earth Spirit?
No, Mike. No, not today. Not an Earth Spirit. He can look. He already surfs as a taunt. Maybe something surfy.
I don't want him to surf, John.
Let him surf. He wants to surf. That's why, Mike. You gotta let him be who he wants to be.
I mean, look at the new Ember Spirit taunt. He literally cooks meat on his shields, and my boy Earth Spirit just surfs on his staff, which I don't know. It's just pretty meh, isn't it?
I like it. It's annoying. I mean, I like it in that it's annoying.
Okay.
It's the musical cue is what does it. Ding, 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 ding. It's just kind of silly. It's something still. You look at the bands, Mike.
Yeah.
Neon took out that Zeus, so we're not getting treated to that global strat. We love to see Spectre Zeus Haunt with the Thunder Gods. Not there, but they get the Lich.
Hold on. So mid tiny.
Or yeah, it's gonna be a core tiny here for Fearless, I'm assuming, and. Well, Fearless is a very fearless player. He wants to be fast. Tiny is a very fast mid, right? You ride until you're level 7 mark, and then you can start rotating, farm your blink up with those early kills, and you're set to go. So it's still a fairly active draft from Motivate.Trust. Lich in conjunction with, say, the Mars plus the Grimstroke. So double Chain Frost is pretty good, but Neon pull a sneaky one. They do bring the Viper out, and if you're laning against that as a Tiny or even as a Spectre on the safe, if that's an off Viper, which it does look to be, that's not fun. It's going to be a difficult lane for Jackie and Neon. Lovely last pick. Yep, Yapaj. Oh no, it's going to be mid, or they might flex it. Yapaj going to have to really apply that pressure, and MG.Trust, they've got their workout cut out for them here.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one now with that Viper pickup for sure. Fearless, if he is going to have to play up against that Viper, that is hellish to have to do it. John, you are actually on the POS 5 Ember Spirit, apparently.
Okay.
Unless he is taking a core role, but JG is on the POS 3 Venge.
Oh,
Okay, so POS 5 Ember.
It's been a while since we've seen the support Ember. You know, there was a time where I'm thinking back, was that BTS Pro Series 2 where we saw a lot of that? Like Zephyr Ember, you know, Kescute Ember, stuff like that. But it, it's it has a space. It's just when you've got the Mirana to share with, that can be a bit difficult. So finding that early farm and EXP gain might be the challenge here for Neon. But once you overcome that, it can be really potent. You get a decent time on the urn, and you're still gonna wreak havoc. The Ember doesn't take too much farm as a support. You just really need to find a way to assert your dominance in lane, and that's basically gonna be it for John Well. As long as he gets that spacing right, gets his level 4 pretty decently, then you're gonna be happy on that support Ember.
Everyone's dead. Neon Esports, apparently. Play hard and Skem just going down. John Yuel will take a seat. I do love that Mars set, by the way. It's very, very nice, that shield.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's very big. It bothers me with how big it is. Like it doesn't change the hero profile from above too badly, so it's actually pretty good in that sense. It's just ridiculously big. Like you look at the Mars model, just see how big that is. It takes an insane amount of space in the map.
Is it insensitive to make that's what she said jokes in 2020 now, or are we?
See you later, nerd.
Are we over? Have we cancelled that part of 2020 as well? We can't do that anymore. I don't know. I'm just making sure.
By making sure, you kind of made the joke, Mike.
I did.
You know, so
very clever.
You're not covering your bases there.
No, Neon.
Look at this.
Looking to go after Q.
Oh.
Arrow, and it's going to fly through. Q will dodge it out.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
MG.Trust, they do avoid the big gank attempt that's coming out from Neon. Still, Neon are going to stick around here, so there is still a potential that they could make something happen, as MG.Trust do want to get back up to take their bounty runes. Looks like they're just going to back off. So, no real initiation here. JG is going to stick around for the River Rune, and it will be a 2-for-2 trade. Very nice and even.
Yeah, it's a different lane here coming out for MG.Trust, though Jackie is on the off lane. So they've swapped the position of that spec to be up against JG instead. They do want to avoid Skem. Looks like I think they were expecting the Viper to be elsewhere, but Yopaj is going to be mid. So Fearless on to Tiny, and we talked about this from draft. Tiny versus Viper. It's not a particularly good time for Tiny. There's a lot of damage Yopaj can dish out. At the same time, if Yopaj isn't careful, the right clicks of Tiny are pretty potent as well. So gotta watch that spacing, but once you stack on, yeah, it's hard to close that gap.
But just look at this. How is Fearless meant to farm? Yopaj obviously doing a great job with that poison attack, but MG.Trust, I mean, I was thinking to myself, can they swap lanes up against this Viper? Get someone else in that mid lane? But when you look at the draft of a Motivate.Trust, there's really no options here. They're kind of just stuck like this.
Yeah, no, like, you can't have Masaros down mid on that Mars. I mean, he's doing fine up top. He can hold his lane against Scam for the most part, at least when he hits level 3. That's a bit easier, but up against a Viper, even a Mars is not going to hold up. And you look at the top lane, it's not like Masaros is having an easy time as well. Skem and John Yuel have been forcing their level 1 advantage. Without that Bulwark up, Mars isn't particularly tanky either.
He's not. Masaros, he'll go through the first salve of the game for himself. You have to be wary of Skem's damage even prior to that level 6 mark. He does tend to hit hard on that Drow. They're going to try and go back in onto John Yuel, who did get a bit close, but a great sleight of fist dodge. But now Skem, he's been speared up to a tree. Be in a spot of danger. Nice stroke of fade out from Q, and they will be able to secure that first blood. John Yuel trying to go at it with Masaros, but that'll be a double kill out for our Mars.
And that sets them up really nicely there for the side of Motivate.Trust. You're slowing down Skem's farm. You're slowing down Johnnyuel's EXP gain. Neon has to be a bit careful with how aggressive they get. Masaros is, at level 2, can really pump in the nukes. He is out of mana now. Doesn't have mangoes. That might leave him a bit vulnerable.
It may. Fearless actually still maintaining himself in this lane, surprisingly enough. I mean, 9-2 on that Tiny, considering the matchup, it's quite impressive from Fearless. Meanwhile, top lane Q does end up eventually dying to Januel, but well, now they've gone for a lane swap. Jackie gonna show up top. Masaros actually gonna go down to the bot lane, which is kind of surprising, right? He just got the double kill, but I guess he still wants the advantageous matchup.
I'm not completely sure about that. It's not like Jackie's gonna have a better time. And look at this, play hard.
Does get arrowed. A nice setup there from Play Hard, and that'll be Boombell gone. And they're just running an aggressive trial lane now. It seems like they may just be okay with leaving JG bot lane by himself. Only problem is, MG.Trust are diving them. So Masaros now on a killing spree. And I believe JG may need some assistance.
Yeah, Venge solo just doesn't quite cut it in the offlane. If they want to actually get some progression for JG, they will have to invest their resources there. At the same time, they do want Skem to go with a runway start, so a bit mixed, but they do have level 3 in Johnnyuel, and Playhard has his 2, so they can make some movements across the map now.
It's an Invis Rune. Fearless would probably love to get it, and he's going to go for it, but it's a bait. They're baiting him forward? No. Januel does show himself now. They're just going to go straight in on this Tiny. And poor old Fearless, he's trying. He really is, but he is not going to be able to get away with it. Yopaj will be able to get the kill onto the Tiny, and of course they will take that Invis Rune. They'll get a D-ward out, and they will return back up towards that top lane.
Yeah, just applying constant pressure on the spec. And Jackie, he's not been off to a good start. 13-2 in terms of last hits. Just as well as Fearless is as well. Like, the Tiny and Spec just not finding the openings they want. And with his aggressive start, he can't handle it.
Look at this. Boombill gonna go down, and it's the Chains arrow setup. You'll love to see it there, and Neon. It's a pretty nice kind of setup for a kill.
Yeah, and that just gives us a really good start for Skem. He's off to a runaway start, 24-13. You're seeing the same farm for Masaros down bot, but a Mars farm, it's not as, it's not as explosive as an early Drow. It's very important still to get that early blink on Masaros, but you're talking about a pause 1 farm versus pause 3. It's just not the same priority here that MG.Trust are trading away for.
JG still being left alone at that bot lane on the Venge. He's doing okay though. Obviously not able to secure CS as safely as he would like, which is allowing Masaros to get whatever he wants, but I suppose it is just the Venge. You don't really need to give it too much priority in terms of farm. You just really wanted to get those auras up, and after that the Venge can just swap in and out, do its thing. Seems like they are much more focused on making sure Fearless has a very, very bad game. And just judging by this laning stage, it is going to be a bit tougher for him. So he is going to try and get the double damage, but again, Play Hard. Just there at the right time, secures another power rune, but more importantly, denies it away from the Tiny, and now will make the TP bot. Still tough though, there's 3 heroes there from MG.Trust. It's going to be a hard defense. There's even a 4th one coming in from Fearless. He's looping around. Play Hard gonna spot him out with that arrow, but doesn't want to be here. The Ink Sword's gonna fly in, but he's trying to leap away into the spear of Masaros, and they will manage to get him. There was just no way out for that Mirana.
Yeah, this is an early clump up bot though. They're gonna throw the bodies here, Jinwell now as well.
Again, it's a hard defense. We're bringing Yopaj, that should make it much easier. So he's at the level 7 mark with the Viper Striker, but Masaros does not want to die like this, but he will. Yopaj able to take the kill. However, MG.Trust still going. do get JG, Fearless, he'll be forced to just TP out unless he gets chained up like that from Januel. And, well, that'll be Yopaj getting a double kill now on the Viper. They do end up successfully defending that tier 1 bot tower.
Yeah, I'd say that's very worthwhile for Neon. Yopaj got some important kills on himself, accelerating his farm towards that mech. So it's a very old school Viper build coming out, but that's going to help him with his sustain, help him stand in the front, and that's just really important for Neon. Their early game dominance is going to be on that Viper, and with his mech timing, I think we're looking at, say, 9 minutes, maybe earlier. It's going to be really hard to pick off the Viper. Yopaj is just going to be a major menace. They also did give free space to Skem, because they dragged 4 heroes bot, that Drow up top, just getting that free farm. And Skem already has those 3 rate bans, so his damage output is pretty sickening. If you leave him alone any further, he's just going to have a good time ramping up to his first set of items.
Get the denial from that tier 1, JG. Just getting rid of it. The 1k net worth lead, Neon. They'll just hold on to that for now. The idea seems to be from Neon is if they can slow the game down and not allow Motivate.Trust to start roaming around and getting pickoffs, it'll buy enough time for their Drow Ranger Skem to just get up and online and ready to go. And Skem is essentially free farming at the moment. He's only just behind Yopaj in terms of net worth, so it seems to be working quite nicely, this game plan.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think the one thing you worry about here is that Jackie does get free space as well down bot. So that's a Spectre that you're allowing to free farm, but MG.Trust, they're going to go try and punish up top.
Off we go. Skem is very, very far forward. This should be a guaranteed kill, but his team is coming in. There's your arena, there's your spear, and your haunt flying in, and well, Yopaj and Jonuel trying to get in there to help out, but just took them too long to reach. So I suppose while they're here, they could try to set up for that tier 1 top tower.
Yeah, it's a harder push, although.
They get the chains off onto Masaros. Just use the God's Rebuke and tries to run away. Yopaj won't be quite close enough to be able to get the Viper strike off. Maybe on Fearless if they can get the chains cancellation, but no. They couldn't get it in time. So they'll just settle for that tier 1 top tower.
Yeah, it's, again, not the fastest without your drow around that area. And the punishment from MG.Trust is good. That first haunt, going swimmingly for Jackie. Just back to farming, and he's actually going for the Midas on the spec. So he wants to play that slower game. He knows he doesn't need to join too many of these early fights. Having that Midas on the spec does give you that steady farm and steady EXP game to help you kind of stem the tide of Neon trying to play fast.
Swap in, maybe onto Q. Chains out, but Fearless is rushing in for a toss attempt. Still JG gonna survive. Fearless still trying to go in, but they just can't kill him. Oh, Neon, they're really starting to fight back quite nicely. Play hard. It's a boom bell. Lich is going to be able to walk out, but there's going to be no defense here. Neon, they're going to get a free tier 1 and maybe even a kill onto Masaros. There's your break. Chain Frost will fly through, but boom bell might just drop and does. The multi-shot from Skem just from a mile away, dishing out enough damage to kill the Lich. And this is really bad news as another swap in from JG is going to set up for another kill onto Q. He's trying to run with the Inkswell, maybe get a trade, and he actually is. No, a great smoke out.
Oh, you gotta love
that was
this
actually
place.
that was Januel, I believe, getting the smoke off in time. Very, very nice.
Yeah, you gotta love those small plays. And Neon, and they've got that early timing with Yopaj's mech. It makes it so much harder to rip through the rest of your lineup. MG.Trust, they need to step back a bit, find that initial farm. The blink on Fearless is gonna be their next big timer. That and the blink on Masaros. So both of these heroes are rushing towards the blink next. They need a little bit more patience before that. They can probably punish Neon if they overextend. But at this point, with the tier 1 mid, the tier 1 top gone, Neon can just take it slow. Their jungle is a bit safer, especially that triangle where there are some good stacks to take down the line as well. MG.Trust. And the Midas is up for Jackie. It is flying out, but oh no, actually switched to the drums. So not going for the Midas instead. Might want to play around Haunt now with that drums build up, and you're gonna have to really play around your team fight, which is looking a bit better than Neon's in terms of control. That's one way to really get your Spectre running here.
5k net worth lead for Neon. They've just got off to such a great start. Jackie obviously trying to get as much farm up as he can ASAP, as his team does need him. It's just so difficult, right, when you've got that inbuilt break on your Page. You don't have that safety net for the Spectre. And, bot lane, they're going to try and make a play onto play hard, but no. He leaps, he Moonlight Shadows, and he laughs.
Yeah, it's tricky to lock these guys in if your Tiny can't gap close. They just need a way to jump in. They need that blink on both of these heroes. Matsuros is pretty close. Just about 600, 800 gold off. Once you've got that with the arena, you can start to set up some team fights. You can start to catch Scam in the back line and try to really punish the Drow pick. But before then, you have to play this farm game. You will have to accept that Neon is just, 5k ahead. They've got control of the top jungle. Just play in that bot jungle, play it safe. There's a Spirit Vessel up now on Play Hard, so they're gonna have even more damage flying out in the middle, and even more sustain as well. Gotta watch out for that one.
Ooh. Great arrow out.
Wow.
Play Hard. Really on top of his game today. Oh, Masteros tried to spear him away, but misses, and now Play Hard will take the kill off him. It's just beautiful play out from Neon Esports right now. Motivate.Trust. Again, still relying on Jackie. Jackie just needs time. That's all it takes with the Spectre.
Yeah, it's just an investment, and they're going to have to give some ground away. That mid-tier 2 doesn't stand for long. Without the Mars, without Arena, it's hard to get the defense off.
Swap in again from JG, straight onto Fearless, but now the Soulbind and the double chain frost is going to bounce through. They are in trouble on the side of Neon Esports, and your Page will go down along with Scam on the Drow. And I suppose that's one of your win conditions for winning these team fights. So they are going to go onto the Ember to boot. He's going to try and remnant out, but it is going to be hard to walk away from this one. 3 for nothing. That's it. If you can get the Soulbind, the double chain frost with the Arena, people start to blow up.
Yeah, it's a big play coming from them. A good sneak behind. And it just timed really well with the respawn of Masteros. Like, he managed to TP in, get the Arena off in the middle of it. And Neon, punished for their overextension. Scam not going to be too happy about falling like that. Does need his 4 staff up. Once you've got that, you can at least get yourself to safety as long as you're not soul bounded up. But with those big spells gone, Haunt's a pretty long cooldown. Chain Frost, not so much. But that does give Neon an opportunity now to go hunting themselves.
Moonbelt, trouble, Play Hard. He's at that stage where he can just solo supports, and JG will secure the kill on the Venge with that Wave of Terror, as we like to call it. Back into the Roshan pit. Nothing to stop.
Yeah. It goes way too quick as well. The pros of having a Drow and multiple ranged heroes with the Venge just melts really fast. They had vision, but they couldn't really maximize it as, again, they didn't have Haunt. They had no easy way of going in. So first Aegis to Scem. That should open up more pushes for them. Start to look at securing some tier 2s to really lock in that map.
They should. That mid lane, you're going to be a bit concerned now as Fearless does finally have that blink up on the Tiny. So there's definitely a bit more kill potential now for Motivate.Trust. Something they have been lacking ever since that bad laning stage for Fearless. We'll see if they can make this one work now with that blink up.
Yeah, they've also got the blink on Masteros. So both sides having both of those blinks up means that they can gap close, they can find a follow-up immediately. I'd say smoke around the next haunt, so that's about 40 seconds off. Once you do, probably going to be very easy to find a couple of pickoffs there. Neon, they're not going to be aware of it. They've slowed down MG.Trust enough that they might be very, very confident in how they position themselves. We've seen that if they do kind of stay too clumped up, it's very easy to punish that.
It is. Neon. Easy tier 1 bot tower. And they have time to defend that mid tower, and of course they will try. If you just keep that up, it's going to make you feel that much safer. Yopaj will reveal himself TPing in. That'll be enough for them to just back off immediately. And their worth lead does go back up to 5k now. Still not out of the woods yet, MG.Trust. They are about to at least have the Manta up on Jackie. So that should definitely help out a bit here for this dire side. Well, mid lane, play hard. Gonna get an arrow out, but it's gonna be nowhere near Masaros. It seems as though Neon might start to pressure that bottom tier 2.
Yeah, again, just looking to really hammer and control on the map. Right?
Gets the avalanche toss. They do clean up the Ember. That's one down. Don't forget, that is the position 5 Ember that you're seeing go down there. So, the rest of the team from Neon, they don't really care. They're going to keep going after that bot tier 2. However, Arena out, JG, going to swap Schem out of there. So that's your Arena gone. And without that, I don't really believe they can take the team fight. Soulbind is out. Fearless going to try and lock him down for the Chain Frost, and it is not really there. They're still going to try for this fight, but Masaros now is just a sitting duck to Yopaj. Meanwhile, Schem, or rather Play Hard, trying to get away from this Spectre. And well, while you got the kill on that Mirana, Jackie is going to lose his life. What happened to our Chain Frost?
Not sure. It looked like the bounces just didn't go out. Maybe they were spaced just right.
No, he didn't use it.
Oh. Huh.
I saw him walking
up,
but he just never used it.
That's a major mistake for MG.Trust. They need that, you know. Like, they already lost the arena early on. If you don't get the follow-up with that, with the Chain Frost, it falls flat. So, tier 2 gone, mid and bot. That means the triangle is now very exposed here. For MG.Trust, have to be careful when they go farming around. Neon, they're going to be happy. Schem is just so massively ahead now. 11k net worth. You're seeing Jackie at 8.4. Not the spot where the Spectre wants to be. That Manta we talked about, it's delayed further. You know, he's right there on the edge, but it's just not enough. It's going to have to wait for that 500 gold to be back up before finishing that. Maybe when you have that, additional stats are going to help you out. But there's just so much more here to overcome. And you're going to have the pipe out in Yopaj. So even if you do get the Chain Frost, it's not going to be as devastating if the pipe effect is up. That just makes these fights take a bit longer for MG.Trust.
Yeah, I do like this build up from Yopaj. I think it is very, very nice to just go for the sustain build on the Viper, right? So you don't really need the damage. He's just around to slow people up, stack up some poison attacks, and of course throw the Nether Toxin out on the Spectre whenever he can, and Masaros for that matter. But you don't need the damage on the Viper. You could just help your team stay alive.
Definitely, and besides, the thing that matters the most with him is the break. Nether Toxin is key for him, just to get the break off on some key heroes and make it a bit more tricky for anyone to feel safe.
Chains! Oh, Fearless! He was so close. He went for the avalanche on the creep wave, trying to clear it out. It is going to cost him. That was a great play out of our Ember. Just using 2 remnants to close the gap and going for the blind chains. Works out very nicely.
Yeah, and there's that last outer tower gone from MG.Trust, so entire map is pretty naked. It's going to be much more difficult now getting that farm distribution on these cores. Jackie does have the Manta style up. And that is, well, it's a sign of life, but they need more. They need to make that Blink Arena work. They're smoked up.
They are. Masaros, nice arena, does catch Schem, but JG Again with the swap, they're going to haunt in now with the Chain Frost to fly out, but well, they're still dying on MG.Trust, unfortunately. Masaros is getting very, very low. Jackie's back in here with the buyback from Boombell. The chains are out. Gepage is going to get the Viper Strike off onto that Spectre, and he's a sitting duck. He can't move.
Oh.
More buybacks to fly out, but this is looking like a GG call might be coming if they can't defend this tier 3 tower. Neon, they're not backing off either. They realize how strong they are right now. Fearless gets gusted up, but a nice spear in from Masaros with the gaze out from Boombell, but they still can't kill the Drow. Skem's going to turn back around onto Fearless. Never mind, they'll just go after Masaros, and they'll get the dieback on the Mars. Now Fearless to jump in with the Inkswell and the toss, but it's just not enough. Just no damage. Q now, getting caught out by Playhard. That'll be a double for your position 5 Ember. And they won't call it yet. They're not calling it, but the game's over.
Nah, it's so difficult to defend. They don't have Haunt, they do have Arena. You saw Fearless try to go for a blink attempt, but he walks into the Nether Strike, the Nether Toxin. You know, he doesn't get it because he gets damaged. And you miss small opportunities like that, you get punished really hard. Your racks are just melting. You're like, maybe they try one more when the respawns are up, but they're definitely going to have to deal with at least mega creeps.
Oh, that's for sure. And even then, they've got to be so careful not to get picked off before they have everyone up. Nickliff, Fearless, Avalanche toss onto John Newell, but he's going to just try and back out. There's your tier 3. Alright, they force them back. So no megas yet. However, Jackie is the reason why they're backing off. They're trying to chase down this Spectre. There's your smoke to get that movement speed. JG, he just wants a swap. Oh, he's going to find him. Wave of Terror, going to give vision. John Newell, maybe with the chains, does catch him, but he'll Manta. And we'll make a run. So instead, they're going to turn around for the easier targets, which are right behind them. But Masaros going to go for the Arena and the Spear. Now the Soulbind's there, but you don't have the Chain Frost to throw out. So there's no real use of this as, well, they're going to melt MG.Trust. That's it. GG's been called. Neon Esports taking a very, very convincing game 1.
Yeah, it's just a lot coming out here from Neon. They really make that first pick of Ben Shroud work out way too much. That's something that's really difficult here for MG.Trust, right? Like, when you're up against Neon, you're forced to ban out Chen, but seeing how well they performed on Venge Drow, you also have to break out this combo as well, and that kind of leaves you in a pick your poison situation. Do you want to play against the Scam Chen, or do you want to deal with this Venge Drow? It's difficult, and there were some moments of brilliance. You know, the double Chain Frost was nice, just not enough. Motivate.Trust. We'll see how they deal with it in game 2, but Neon looks like they're having fantastic time here.
They are. It goes back to the draft a bit, right? Because you saw the Ember second pick, and they must have assumed that must be a mid-Ember. And then they go for the Spectre to counter out the Drow from Schem. But then and Fearless obviously gets his Tiny that he loves playing, but then the Viper comes out, and suddenly we have a pos 5 Ember. It's just some mind games going on in that drafting stage, and well, we'll see if Neon do pull out some more surprises for us. It's MLP johnxfire. We'll be back in 10 minutes for our last game of the night. See you then.